Hello, friends. Today we are looking at interpreting these solutions to linear equations. So we've gotten really good at solving them, but now if we're given a word problem, we need to know what the answer actually means. So we have a word problem here. Madison took a taxi from her house to the airport. The taxi company charged a pickup fee of $3.20 plus $5 per mile. The total fare was $98.20, not including the tip. We're not going to worry about that for our problem here. The equation representing this is 5m plus 320 equals 9820. Solve for the variable and determine what the solution means in the context of the problem. So our first step is, of course, just to solve. And I do want to apologize. I can't find my stylus, so it's going to be a little bit sloppier than it might normally be, but we'll make it work. So, of course, our first step is to subtract 320 on both sides. And we'll get 5m equals 95. And then divide by 5 to get m equals 19. So, cool, we got the answer. We solved for the variable, but now we need to know what that means. So we're talking about taking a taxi that charged a certain amount per mile, $5 per mile in particular. So that's 5m represents that. So 5m means it's $5 per mile. So that means that m is the number of miles. So in this case, our answer of 19 is the trip went for 19 miles. Marky has a points card for movie theater. He receives 70 points just for signing up. He earns 9.5 points for every visit, which we'll call X to the movie theater. He needs 184 points for a free movie ticket. The equation for this is 9.5x plus 70 equals 184. And we're going to solve for the variable and determine the meaning in the context of the problem. So 9.5x plus 70 equals 184. Again, of course, our first step is to subtract 70 from both sides. And so we have 9.5x equals 114. Divide by 9.5. So we have x equals 12. So now we need to figure out what that means for us. Well, the nice thing is that it actually tells us in the problem directly. Oops. Stop that. He earns 9.5 points for each visit X to the movie theater. That means that X means every visit that he goes, every time he goes to the movie theater. So in this problem, in order to get the 184 points that he needs for a free movie ticket, he needs to go to the movie theater 12 times, or at least buy 12 tickets. Sarah bought snacks for her team's practice. She bought a bag of chips for $1.56 and 20 juice bottles. The total cost before tax was $33.96. Again, we're not going to worry about tax in this problem. An equation relating this information is 1.56 plus 20x equals $33.96. How much did each juice bottle cost? So this one doesn't specifically tell us to solve for the variable, but in order to figure out the missing thing, we need to calculate what that is. So we will solve for x anyway, because that's our missing thing, that's our unknown. So be careful, because these are swapped from how we've been seeing them the past couple problems, where it's the x term first, and then the plain number. So just be careful that we are subtracting the proper thing. We want to subtract the 1.56 from both sides. So that'll get us 3240. And then we will divide by 20 to get x by itself. And we have x equals 1.62. So 1.62, what does that mean for us? Oh, right, it's asking how much did each juice bottle cost. So that's what each one cost. It's $1.62 for each little bottle of juice. It also does tell us in the problem, that it's 20 juice bottles And in the equation, we have plus 20x. So that means that that's 20 of the price of $1.62. Most of the time, when we are asked to figure out what a solution means, we're basically given the answer in the problem. We just have to make sure we're reading it carefully and not getting tripped up by other answers. So that's why in these problems, I did not give multiple choice answers, just that we start getting the feel for how to do these. All right. Johnny needed to get his computer fixed. He took it to the repair store. The technician at the store worked on the computer and charged him $65 for labor and $141 for parts. So the total charge was $336. The equation relating this information is 65x plus 141 equals 336. How many hours did the technician work on the computer? So the assumption here is that $65 for labor means that it's $65 per hour that the person has to work on the computer. So to find how many hours, if it's 65 per hour, and in the problem, in the equation, we have 65x, that means that x is hours. X must be hours. And what it's asking for in the problem suggests this. How many hours did the technician work on the computer? The only unknown that we have right now is our x. So that must be the hours. So we're going to solve for x to figure out how many hours. So subtract 141 from both sides gets us 65x equals 195. And then divide, we get x equals 3 hours.